How about great news for football fans? The NFL season officially begins Thursday with the Ravens visiting the Chiefs. Currently, the defending champs are a field goal favorite, total sitting at 46.5 at ESPN BET. Reigning league MVP Lamar Jackson, plus 1,600 to repeat this year, while ESPN BET set his prop for Thursday night at 1.5 passing TDs and 218.5 passing yards. As for Mahomes, he's the MVP favorite at plus 475. His passing touchdown prop also just 1.5, but you gotta pay a lot of juice on the over there. His yardage prop at 268 and a hook. We have reports on both teams, and we'll start with the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs and Michelle Steele. She's in the Show Me State. Michelle, Chiefs back in a familiar spot, opening up at home as a banner gets raised. They're a 3-point favorite, minus 150 on the money line, but last year in a spot just like this, they tripped up and lost at home to the Detroit Lions on opening night. So what are you hearing about how much that week one performance is or is not on their minds this year?
Well, Tyler, players are always going to say they don't dwell on poor performances, but I got to tell you, that week one opener from 2023 certainly still stings, and it stings the biggest player on this team, Patrick Mahomes, who felt like they were kind of pushed around by a more hungry Lions team. And remember, that was the first game in Mahomes' career as the starter where he lost the season opener. He doesn't want that to happen this time, and the coaches are emphasizing to players, be physical in this game. The team that flexes the most physicality is the most likely to win. Last year, Mahomes went just 21 of 39 for 226 yards in that 21-20 loss, and he certainly and his teammates are not taking anything for granted. Even win, or perhaps especially win, it's at Arrowhead. They want to win this one.
All right, well, Mahomes excited for a few new weapons in his offense, though one of those, Marquise Brown, listed as doubtful for Thursday's opener. So if he is out, who is in line to get some of those targets that would have gone Hollywood Brown's way?
Yeah, you know what? I would actually look at the other speedster that they picked up in the offseason, their first-round draft pick out of Texas, wide receiver Xavier Worthy. Obviously very fast, just like Hollywood Brown, does some similar things, and they were both brought in to accomplish the one thing that this Chiefs offense couldn't do last year, and that is throw the ball down the field. Now, there are options, of course, in the passing game for KC, whether you're talking about Travis Kelce, who's going to see a lot of action, or Rashee Rice, who at some point has a pending suspension against him, likely. But if you're looking for someone to take some of those targets that you would have gotten with Hollywood Brown, I would look to Xavier Worthy.
Can't teach speed, and Xavier Worthy, literally the fastest man ever at the NFL Scouting Combine. Thank you, Michelle Steele from KC, getting us ready for Thursday.
Thanks, Tyler.
As for the visitors, we're joined by our Ravens reporter now, Jameson Hensley. Jameson, Baltimore coming into this one with some question marks, too. Mark Andrews was in a car accident that caused him to miss some time. Do you expect that he'll see the same amount of snaps we're accustomed to seeing him get?
Yeah, when I spoke with Mark Andrews, he described that accident as extremely scary, but he remarkably was not injured in it. And Andrews has been a full participant in the last 4 practices here with the Ravens, and he told me he's ready to go. Now, I think the bigger question is, what kind of impact will Mark Andrews have? Because one of the reasons why the Chiefs have beaten the Ravens 4 of the last 5 times is because they've taken away Lamar Jackson's favorite weapon. In those 5 meetings with the Kansas City Chiefs, Andrews has been held to 21.9 yards receiving and has not scored a touchdown. That obviously will have to change if the Ravens want to upset the Chiefs in Arrowhead.
Yeah, then there are the big changes to the other side of the ball, not just coaching, but personnel as well for a Baltimore defense that led the league in points allowed per game last year. Are we expecting an encore type performance with the new faces in charge of the defense and running it?
Yeah, I think if we've known anything about this Ravens defense over the years is, they're going to hit and they're going to be stingy, because in 5 of the past 6 years, the Ravens have finished in the top 3 in fewest points allowed. Now, the big change is at defensive coordinator. Mike Macdonald, the last year's defensive coordinator, he's now the head coach in Seattle. Zach Orr is the new defensive coordinator for the Ravens, just 8 years removed from being an all-pro inside linebacker here. Orr talked about being a first-time play caller, and the biggest challenge going against the Chiefs, he said they can score anywhere on the field, and you just can't stay on that play because, as he put it, Andy Reid and the Chiefs are always one step ahead.
Going to be quite a test for Orr and his defense against Reid, Mahomes, and the defending Super Bowl champion Chiefs. Thanks for getting us ready for Thursday, Jamison Hensley. All right, so here is how the public is playing this one at the ESPN BET ticket window. This one shocked you a little bit?
Just a little bit.
Well, the Chiefs.
Well, maybe we would want, the 3 with the Ravens.
I wouldn't blame anyone going either way. It's a good game, so pretty much split down the middle. Just a slight preference by the public for the Chiefs. We're talking tickets and money there, both hovering around 58-59%. So not overwhelming by any stretch of the imagination. Aaron, we're a little more than 48 hours out.
Thank God. The weather's dropping, so I'm good to go. It's time for NFL.
I hear you say you're a little shocked by that. So are you on the Ravens side then? If you're
I haven't made a game pick just yet because I'm not really too excited about the 3. Like, I'd rather take the Chiefs at -2.5. We'll see if it ends up dropping back down to this. But I have so many player props cooked up and ready to go for this. More specifically, one of the guys that I'm going to be looking at is Isiah Pacheco. We just heard in that report, of course, Marquise Brown. He's going to be doubtful. I'm not expecting him to play in that. And then you slide in someone who's like Xavier Worthy, which is great. He's a rookie, fast as can be. But at the same time, it is your first game week 1 going against a really good defense. And then speaking of that defense, they did lose Jadeveon Clowney as well as Patrick Queen. They do have a new defensive coordinator, which is why I'm looking at a guy like Pacheco. I was betting on him nonstop at the end of last season as well as in the postseason. They were handing him the ball nonstop. So if Patrick Mahomes and those wideouts aren't really clicking for some reason, because we know last year they really struggled with that at the beginning of the season, even midseason, but they turned things around with the Super Bowl. So just starting week 1, I will be looking at a guy like Isiah Pacheco and see how some of his props are moving around, as well as the line for the game.
I am focusing on that Baltimore defense specifically, and Kansas City's as well. I'll talk about that in a minute, but Mike McDonald, now the head coach with Seattle. Patrick Queen going to division rival Pittsburgh. These are significant losses for a defense that was historically great last year. Like, there's going to be some regression for the Ravens. That's just the way math works. So how much is it? Do they drop from the best defense to like top 5, top 10? Do they drop to middle of the pack? Going up against Mahomes week 1 is going to be a difficult test, especially since he now has some speed to work with at wide receiver. So I kind of like the over here. I don't know if I'm picking a side yet, but
really,
I kind of like the over.
Primetime unders are a big thing.
That was huge last year.
Primetime unders.
Sometimes we got to forget what we last saw. I just think 46.5 is a bit low for a guy like Mahomes who has added weapons, and that Chiefs defense loses L'Jarius Sneed, and he was a lockdown cornerback last year. So Derrick Henry now alongside Lamar Jackson.
I'm biting my tongue not to give out all the props that I have listed in front of me.
You got 48 hours.
You tune in tomorrow.
We got 2 shows before kickoff, so there'll be plenty of opportunity there. That's just what I'm thinking about right now is the over. No one committing yet. We're not committing to anything.
We're not committing yet, although things are placed.
All right, let's bring in our third voice and third face today. Anita Marks, welcome to the show. Good evening to you. What has your attention a couple of days away from kickoff?
Yeah, and I can't get here fast enough, right? I feel like
Let's go, Anita.
Christmas is, I know, I can't play enough pickleball to pass the time. Thursday's got to get here, man. Tyler, first things first, I'm with you, dude. I love the over here. I get 17-10 in that AFC title game, but as you two so eloquently pointed out, these two teams really different. Kansas City improves their offense. Love the Worthy pick, bringing him in the draft, fastest man on the planet. We'll see. I'm sure Tyreek Hill has something to say about that. Baltimore, their defense changes. Aaron mentioned Patrick Queen gone, Jadeveon Clowney gone, new defensive coordinator. But also, as you pointed out, Tyler, Kansas City's losing some guys on their defensive side as well. Let's not forget Willie Gay left because of free agency. So both these defenses take a step back. Both these offenses improve with Derrick Henry, of course, in that backfield. I got him scoring a touchdown. And I'm with you, Aaron. I've already gone to the window with a ton of player props. Tune in on Thursday. Aaron and I are going to tee them up for you. But I got Derrick Henry touchdown. I got Worthy longest reception.
Hold on. Are we giving it all out now? Hold up.
I can't wait. I got a plethora, baby. Make sure you don't miss our Thursday show. Let's go,
I'm
man.
trying to
Let's
cut you
go.
off to stop giving out the
Hey,
picks.
listen,
But
I would
you do-
expect nothing less from both
Very true.
Aaron and Anita here.
But I will say with that score in the AFC Championship game being 27, like there's a difference between an AFC Championship game and week one of the NFL. We can't just completely look at what just happened last game. Don't be looking at those numbers, run them all. Look to what's happening in 48 hours.
48 hours, we still got time.
Are you
and
biting your
these
tongue
ladies,
too?
I'm
Tyler's
still cooking.
chilling.
I'm still
Tyler's
marinating
chilling.
some
He's
things.
like,
I don't know if
I'm
I don't know
good.
if I'm as deep into it yet as you two are, but I'll get there, I'm sure. All right.